Hi, feeling sad? Feeling melancholy? Then it's time for another session of Ways into Blues. In this session, I'm going to look at minor chords and the part that they play in blues tunes. The chord of C major is made up of the first, third, fifth and 8 notes of the scale. That's C, E, G and C again. If you take the third note of the scale, E, and drop it down 1 fret or 1 note on the keyboard, you get the notes C, E flat, G and C, and that's the chord of C minor. You can also apply this technique to the guitar fretboard by dropping down a fret from the third note of the scale to the flattened third note of the scale. Here's a chord of E major and E minor, A major and A minor, D major and D minor. For my first example, I'm going to take the St James Infirmary Blues, played in the key of E minor. This tune uses 2 minor chords, E minor and A minor, along with a C and a B7th. For clarity, I'm going to put the capo on the 5th fret so that you can see what both hands are doing. I'm going to play the tune Black Magic Woman now in the key of D minor. There are 2 minor chords in this tune, the D minor and the G minor. I know that for the beginner, the barred G minor chord can possibly pose some problems, but actually it's not that hard to get to. Start off by putting your 4th and 5th fingers and play the chord of E minor. Then slide those fingers up and just place your first finger across as the bar. That's the chord of F minor. Slide up 1 more fret and you're playing F sharp minor. Slide up 1 more fret and you're playing G minor. So here's Black Magic Woman. I'm going to talk about relative minors now. If you look at the diagram above, you can see that the notes of C, E and G make up the chord of C major. Now if I add another scale to the bottom of that and play the notes A, C and E, those are the notes of the chord of A minor. And you can see that there's a relationship between these 2 chords because they both have the C note in them and they both have the E note in them. A minor, therefore, is called the relative minor of C. Here are some of the major chords with their relative minors. C has A minor as its relative minor, D has B minor, F has D minor, G has E minor and so on. The point of relative minor chords is that they can be used as substitutes for their relative major chords. So, for example, A minor can be used as a substitute for C major. E minor can be used as a substitute for G major. In this conventional 12-bar blues here in the key of G, you can see the 8th, 9th and 10th chords of the tune in the mauve tint. If we substitute an E minor for the G in the 8th bar, we can substitute an A7th and a D7th for the D7 and the C7th in the 9th and 10th bars, which gives a different turnaround to this particular 12-bar blues. I'm going to play two choruses of a 12-bar blues in G now, first time in the conventional way, and the second time using the E minor and the A7th and D7th chords as substitutes. These relative minor chords can also be used as passing chords to go from one transition to another. You can see from the two charts above, the conventional blues that we used before and the substitute with the E minor, that the E minor precedes an A7th, which precedes a D7th, which precedes a G. If you look at this chart here, which I've labelled the cycle of 7th chords, some people label it the cycle of 5ths. If you look down at the bottom line to the E7, you can substitute that E7 for an E minor. So, for example, E minor can lead into A7th, A minor can lead into D7th, D minor can lead into G7th, and so on. This is very common in jazz music. So the minor chords can be used both as substitutes for the relative major and as passing chords leading into another 7th chord. I'm going to finish now with a simple blues in A minor, which has the chords of A minor, D minor, F and E. I use techniques like hammering on to the minor note, playing in octaves, playing bass runs, playing single runs and so on, just to vary it. And last but not least, have some good picking.